Welcome to the opportunity that pregnancy brings. I'm Jessica Jennings, and I created Ma Yoga in 2009. So I didn't always think of pregnancy as being an opportunity at all. After my first teacher training, back then we didn't really have a yoga alliance or a 200-hour. It was like just a immersion, right? And I honestly didn't even get to teach anybody until the last day, and we all took turns teaching the whole group. And then they said, do you want to teach our prenatal class? And, I really had no idea what I was doing. But very quickly, what I found was that there's a lot of challenges around pregnancy, being pregnant. I was coming in with like all this goddess kind of spiritual philosophy, right? And I sat down and I said to these women, like, you are so beautiful, you're so perfect, you're just bounteous, and you have everything within you that you need. So just, listen to yourself. You don't need me. And they kind of looked at me like I was absolutely nuts. They're hurting, everything's shifting, the hormones, progesterone and relaxin, which open up the pubic symphysis, allowing the baby's head to come out. Well, that works on every single joint, unfortunately, making all of our joints so vulnerable. Organs are moving, baby's growing. So things, if we had like a little misalignment, it's getting worse and worse as baby grows often. It's hard to sleep. We're peeing all the time. If you're a mom, you know the drill, right? It feels like your body's been taken over by an alien. So I heard all of these complaints, I guess you could say. And I thought, well, how can I make things better for people? So what I set out to do was basically share the therapeutic aspect of yoga, right? So there's like specific like biomechanical therapeutic alignment actions that we can teach within every pose, right? We can use downward dog like physical therapy, right? So for instance, if your low back is hurting, generally it's because we've lost our natural curve. And so in downward dog, we can invite people to bend their knees, fire up their thighs, press them back, tilt the sitting bones up, and it's like, right? Back relief. We can teach how to do this when they're standing, when they're sleeping, when they're lying down, right? So this was sort of my focus. And I still really felt like I was missing something. It was helping them get out of pain. But, there's also the worry aspect, right? That brings so much anxiety because it's so unknown. Everything's changing. We're changing. Our lives are going to change drastically. And of course, then there's the questions about the baby. What will happen? Will I be able to push baby out? What will the pain be like? If I already have kids, will I be able to love this one just as much, right? So there's so much to worry about, and very valid things, right? It's not just like, oh, stop worrying. Like there's a lot. But so what I sort of moved toward was, it's okay to worry. It's good, to listen, and yet let's try to find these moments where we clear the slate, right? And give baby a chance just to let go of the stress hormones, just relax and enjoy. So I did some restorative, some meditation, all of these helped, right? But it really wasn't until I had my baby in 2009 that I kind of realized that a sad truth for myself was very real, which is that I didn't really know how to take care of myself. As a yoga teacher, I thought, going to classes, stopping at Whole Foods and getting healthy food, getting my nails done and having a nice little foot massage along with it, all of these things, I thought that was enough. But you're a new mom you can't get to class, right? You don't even have the energy if you could. I remember finally getting to class 6 months into it, because I just didn't want to leave her. And I'm not going to pay like a nanny so I can go and drive and take a class. But I finally, did a baby swap or something, and with a mom friend. And I just remember I was lying in Shavasana, and all I could think was, I can't wait till this is over. I just want to get back home and be with my baby, right? So clearly it wasn't like getting to class that was going to be my answer. I had a cesarean. It was definitely not what I had planned on. Cesareans are very serious abdominal surgery. And so I had a lot of healing to do. I was depleted. My daughter woke up every 3 hours to feed, and I wanted to be there for her. So, after I think 14 months or something, we finally got her to skip a feed at 3 a.m. But so it really became clear to me that as much as I had loved doing prenatal yoga, especially getting to teach prenatal yoga when I was pregnant was really a dream. And I'm still friends with some of those people today, but it didn't really teach me how to take care of myself. I didn't understand how to heal. I didn't understand how to get more energy. I didn't understand how to get myself back, right? And so I took another look at the yoga that I was teaching. And I realized the answer was in the yoga, and I had just been missing it. And the way that I realized that was I started to look at my students, and I started to watch this transformation that occurred. And I realized that this was going to lead me to what needed to happen more. I watched what happened. These women who are mostly, we're in LA, we're busy, we're kind of type A, we have a million things going on, we're very achievement oriented. And yet the women who came to my class were choosing to slow down. They were choosing to start to listen inward and honor what they heard. They were choosing to let go a little bit of the way that they always did things and be open to how their instinct, their intuition, their perception was leading them, right? And I saw them continue on through this path and have these births that were deeply meaningful. And they came back to mom and baby exhausted, stressed out, but able to handle it, right? Feeling okay, knowing that they had a community to turn to, and being willing to turn to their community for help. I had a mom who came and she wasn't even ready to do yoga, but she just sat there with her baby around us so she could feel it and feel that connection again. And I thought, what is this? What is this? Because I try to bring everything back into the yoga. I can go off into like all sorts of life coaching things and everything, but like, what in yoga is this? And what I came to is, something that's in pretty much every spiritual tradition, which, including Indian tradition, yoga, and Chinese medicine. We have these two complementary parts of ourselves that are in a dance with each other. They are never existing without the other. There's no one that's better than the other, right? In Chinese medicine, it's yin and yang. In yoga, it's Shiva Shakti. Shiva Shakti. Shiva representing everything that is stable and steady and unchanging, and Shakti representing everything that's in flow, changing forms, the multitudinous universe that we live in. everything is changing for him, right? Shiva, the masculine, is that part of us that never changes, that no matter what. Sometimes I use this metaphor. If you look at a picture of yourself when you were a toddler, obviously every feature, every part of your body is different, and yet you recognize something. You know that's you. That represents Shiva, right? Shakti is all the other parts that are always changing. So what does this mean? So we have, yoga, we have Chinese medicine. What about like Western culture? So we can talk about the masculine and the feminine. And again, this is not male and female. This is not gender archetypes. This is not about sexuality or, sexual identification. None of that. What it's about is a way to describe the two parts of ourselves. And one is the more like steady, kind of concrete, straight lines. So it's the more linear thinker, right? It's about a solid thing, like a goal, right? It's achievement oriented. It's about being independent, right? It is just this thing. It's just me, and I got this, right? So this masculine side of ourselves is what in our culture is really rewarded and held up. We don't win awards for taking some time out to just ponder what might be our next step, right? We win awards for doing something, right? For finishing something. The feminine side, as opposed to being linear, is the part of us that kind of moves in spirals, right? We're feeling our way forward. Let's say, I don't know, we're trying to eat healthier, and we make this beautiful salad and smoothie one day, and the next day, we have